Good morning, mi gente. It's 9 a.m. I know, gay people and an LGBTQ plus Kiki at 9 in the freaking morning. Whose idea was this? It was my idea. That's why I'm still in bed. Me? I'm FayWhat? And I'm going to help you get your week started off right. We have lots of fun things to talk about. It's going to be a great week.
Gay boys, hashtag that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word. Is that girl the girl of all our dreams? She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, hashtag that girl. Pride-filled, tea-dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too. If you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl.
Created by Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, the FayWhat show's America's first LGBTQ plus morning show. And I'm broadcasting live and also available on demand on your favorite streaming channels. It is Monday, November 25th, 2024. Yes, the week of gratitude is here. Let's kiki about what's going on in the LGBTQ plus community. I have a sidekick joining me in bed. You know him, you love him. He's Eric Restivo. Our first segment is called Gay Boys Sleep Late, and Eric is joining me. Eric is a former WeHo Westcoaster, a well-known entertainer, DJ, podcaster, and star of the new television show, The W Boy. Good morning, Eric, and welcome to my bed.
Oh, I'm so happy to be back in bed with you. It's been a minute.
I know, baby boy.
It's an extra special gratitude week.
Oh, my
I
God.
love that you mentioned that.
It's
it definitely
Thanksgiving.
is. It's Thanksgiving. And hold your family extra close this week.
Right?
And take care of the ones you love.
Yes.
And I love you.
And I love you. And you know that, I'm so grateful about our friendship and how, we met almost 2 years ago at a Sunserve event that you were DJing and you had just moved. Are you going to cry already?
Already.
You're going to make
I'm
me
like,
cry.
I can't even believe you're doing this to me right now. Spray tan's going to start running.
For AA, we've got to do a gratitude list, and we do one every night. And I was telling Alex last week how he had made my gratitude list, and you have been on my gratitude list for about 25 of the 50 weeks. That, and you should have been on the whole entire year.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for you, our friendship, how I could just text you and just vent about anything, and you're up for it, right?
I'm here. I'm here for the vent session. Any hour that you need. And my husband adores you.
I love Todd.
We adore you.
I love Todd. Make sure you check him out at the pub.
Yeah.
It's Thanksgiving week, and a lot of us are going to have to deal with family members that maybe voted against us.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Luckily, I am staying in Florida for Thanksgiving. I'm not going up to New York. I have more family members, and I don't say this out of hate. We've actually talked about this before. I am not someone who can just and I might catch flack for this, but this is also why this makes me me. I am not someone who can just cut off a family member because they voted a certain way. Now, I can feel extremely angry, and I can volumize that to said family member in any way that I think is feasible for the situation, right? But I respect people's votes, even though it's the wrong one. I will let them have it because I think that the other route of going that other route is worse. I think that I would rather not lose a family member that I have loved my whole life over an asshole like Donald Trump.
Amen.
Truly, but I understand people who do. I get it. I understand why women especially are cutting ties. I understand the ties being cut. I get that. For me, it's harder for me to just cut someone off like that.
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And I've seen people post certain things like, telling our community what to do, right? Don't get all crazy in front of somebody. Don't get into a fight with them. That's what they want.
Right.
Don't show them that you're sad because that's what they want also.
Right.
People will see that they voted against themselves. You know, Latinos will see that. Women will see that.
And they are already. People are seeing it already. It's starting already. It's the mayhem of it all is already starting, to be fair. Like it's the media is wild right now as people are mocking, you know, how Trump is appointing all these new people every day. And it is kind of funny when you think about someone who doesn't believe in vaccines as, you know, the person in charge
of health.
Of our health.
Yeah.
But
he also doesn't believe in HIV/AIDS, which is a very scary thought.
Or germs.
Yeah.
To be fair. He says germs don't exist.
Well, he also thinks that water makes people trans or non-binary.
But I don't think that us as the queer community, like mocking that and like getting on the same level is great for us. Like it's like because it just gives them what they want. You know, they want us to be sad and scared and
we are all that.
And we are, but you gotta not give in to the hysteria of what the media tries to do with these evil people because they're evil. But it makes it more evil. So you have to choose your platforms, choose what you're watching, be smart about the news that you're watching. Don't even go near Fox News. I mean, it's like, make yourself happier in situations that you can control.
Yes, and to all you people that have left Twitter, or X, now you leave. You could have left
I've never
a
even
while
had
ago.
one. Yeah,
like,
I mean, when Elon Musk, please.
The second he got
bought
that,
it,
I was out of there. You know, so deactivate, delete, whatever. I'm on Blue Sky now. Get on Blue Sky.
Oh yeah,
everybody
get on
seems
there.
to Blue Sky,
and that's like the way to go now.
And and everybody's like all happy on there.
Twitter is just porn. It's just porn. It's just porn now. Literal porn
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's still
It's
Pornhub.
OnlyFans.
I mean, seriously.
I love Pornhub. No viruses.
Me too.
I can watch it on my cell phone.
Yeah.
You don't have to download an app.
Yep.
Honey, let's go.
Hello. All right, let's get into topics now, all right? My boo is here. We're in bed. Luna's in the bed. You can't see Luna Pup because she's our guard dog and she's at our feet, but she'll probably come up and lick our faces, all right? Especially when I start talking about Pedro Pascal.
Ooh, I want to lick his face.
First, Pedro Pascal spilled the tea on getting snatched in leather armor for Gladiator 2 at 49. Reflecting on training alongside 28-year-old co-star Paul Mescal, Pascal speaking to Entertainment Tonight said, quote, "Maybe it would have been fun for me too if I was 20 years younger. I got stronger than I've ever been just so that I can play that character. Really, I was snatched in the leather armor. It's a lot of fun, but I'm definitely getting to the point where I can't just wake up and do stuff like that. So I got ready for that." End quote. Watch this.
You know, you guys hit the gym, you hit the weights, you did a lot of training for this. I think Denzel said you pumped up to get beat up by the best.
Yeah.
So that process for you, Paul said it was fun.
Yeah, I bet it was. I bet it was fun for him. Maybe it would have been fun for me too if I was 20 years younger. I know that I was under no single directive from the movie to get in any kind of shape.
But you did.
But I did.
Yes,
you did.
You did. Mainly so that I wouldn't get hurt. And it didn't work. I got hurt anyway. I got as stronger than I'd ever been just so that I could just so that I could play the character, really.
Do you see this? I just got fined just so I could play the character.
No, but he like the whole thing, because the whole thing was just so
Thank you very
amazing.
much.
Like, like he was just very impressive. Like as soon as I saw him in the general gear, I was like,
Let me not be. I'm not going to be false. Let's just say I saw Ridley today, and he was like, "Oh, your belly's gone."
he did say that. Did he really? He said,
So I didn't get into that great a shape.
Your gut is gone. And
My
it's like,
gut is
what
gone.
gut?
Pedro Pascal on getting the Gladiator body. What are we all talking about?
What is the award show that you were to say that he brought his trans sister to? Oh, it was
the grand opening, the opening of the movie in LA for Gladiator 2.
Listen, when any handsome human like that speaks, I melt, one. But two, using their platform to spread love and awareness for the trans community by bringing his trans sister to the premiere of the movie. This guy is a chef's kiss in my book.
Oh my God, he really is.
He seems like America's most eligible bachelor. Maybe they should do a celebrity bachelor. Have they done that?
I don't know.
Have they done that?
I don't know.
Have they done that?
I think they've done like
He'd be great.
the hottest single or something like that on People. Something
He would
like
be
that.
great. Like if they did a Celebrity Bachelor edition with Pedro
But you
Pascal,
really,
he'd be. Yeah.
you really think he's single? I think he just hides it well. I mean, he's too good. You just said how perfect he is.
I think we would know. We would know. No?
But maybe he's so good at.
There's
like,
no
he's-
ring. I was looking at those fingers.
I know you
No
were,
ring.
but you were looking at the
I was
fingers
like,
for
huh?
other reasons.
I was like, he's got big hands.
That's the kind of ally that we love, right?
Yeah.
You know, he looks good, he speaks good, he has our back, he has LGBT and a community person as a sibling, and always like spotlights her, right? I mean, she's gorgeous too. I mean,
She's very pretty. She's very pretty.
Gorgeous.
She's so tall too. Yeah, got legs for
And
days.
God,
Yeah.
she's just got such a beautiful face. I mean, she's just
Yeah.
beautiful. I can't remember her name right now, but she is beautiful. And he always like
Pascal's her last name.
for Pride. Faye Pascal.
Pascal sounds nice.
For Pride Month, he always posts about our community. I
Yep.
mean, like there is no better ally, and so that's why we're always kind of like hoping that he will come out as gay or whatever. You know, I just think that he's very comfortable with his sexuality.
Right. It's giving
You know?
Jared Leto, you know,
Yeah.
who's so like not in the same style,
But less
obviously,
weird.
less weird, but like that kind of comfortable and
Yes.
Shawn Mendes or
Yes,
did
yes.
he come out or he's feeling more feminine. Harry Styles
Yes.
kind of. They don't give a fuck. They're not worried about what people are saying behind closed doors. And I wish that I could take a page from that book even
Right,
more. You
yeah.
know, no one's perfect.
Yes.
So.
Are you going to see Gladiator 2? Did you see Gladiator 1?
No, but
Okay.
I'm open to it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
is it on streaming? Gladiator
No.
1? No.
Oh, no. Gladiator 1 has to be on
I
streaming.
heard that Gladiator 2 is getting just as much Oscar buzz as Wicked. So
Oh.
it's like it's supposedly very, very good. They're calling it Glicked.
Oh.
Yeah, Gladiator and Wicked as one.
Okay,
So
well,
that's, yeah.
why did you come out on the same weekend as Wicked?
I don't know,
What
yeah,
is wrong with
I'm
you?
not sure. Yeah, I'm not
But I
sure.
can see people watching both for different reasons. The gays are going to go see Gladiator 2 because a bunch of men, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, Gladiator and killing each other and
Right.
hotness and Pedro Pascal and Paul also. And then people are going to go see Wicked because we're gay and we
And the
have
gays
to.
are also going to go see Wicked, right? Exactly. The marketing campaign for both of them were so great. I just think that they hit all the points they had to. I don't know,
points.
you know?
All
Yeah.
the points. Well,
I don't-
Pedro, we love you.
We love you
Keep
here.
on kicking butt. My
Come-
God.
come meet us in bed.
Come meet us here
Come
in
right
bed.
here.
I
Come
mean,
here.
we just love you. Next, fearful of marriage equality being overturned,
Right.
same-sex couples in Iowa are rushing to marry before Trump's inauguration. Chaplain Anita Miller with Lesbians of Iowa is helping over 40 couples tie the knot by connecting them with free vendors like officiants, photographers, and notary services. Her project, for a time such as this, includes a national map of free resources. Many from the queer community fear marriage equality could face challenges in the near future, especially after Roe v. Wade overturning. LGBTQ plus is running to get married before January. What are we all talking
not
about?
just in Iowa. We talk about this all the time. I am not married. I have been wearing this Cartier Love Band ring for 6 years now.
6 years.
Because COVID canceled our wedding, not once but twice in California. And now I am thinking the same thing. Should I be going to Sunshine Cathedral in 2 weeks? I really don't know what the future is for us as a queer community. So I'm like, I think that it's time to do it.
Well,
you know?
I agree with you. I think you need to sit with yourself 10 minutes and go, I mean, you know that Todd is that piece.
Oh, yeah.
You
of
know it.
course,
That's not even a
of course. No,
question.
it's not
You know what I mean?
that.
And
Just-
no, I know it's not that.
It's like, is
not
it
that.
going to be worse if we're married, or is it going to be better if we're not? Like, that's the unknown, the fear
Well,
of it.
it is the unknown. You know, a lot of
Right.
people have different. We don't know,
don't
right?
know.
At the end of the day, right? Because somebody tells us, well, you know, you've
It's
already
better if you're married.
You're
Yeah,
already
right,
married,
right.
right?
They can't
a lot
touch
of
it.
a lot of it will just be grandfathered in, so to speak, right?
Right,
You know, and
right.
I've heard this from LGBTQ plus lawyers. I've heard this from legitimate people, right?
Right.
But what the f do they
How do we
know,
know?
right?
Yeah, how
Because
do we
Trump
know?
is Trump, so
How do we know?
we don't know.
We have no idea.
I posted on my social media. I had posted because I'm an officiant. I could marry people. I have married people in the past, and I love it. I can marry you and Todd if you want. And I had posted like, hey, if you need someone to marry you before January, I'm available.
You're avail.
That post got so much play. Like,
Yeah.
I was surprised by how many people were like, oh my God, I'm thinking about it. Wow, I really need to talk to my partner. And then 15 others that were like, find me someone to marry and I'll do it.
Maybe you should do like a Faye Day with Sunshine Cathedral.
And just
Call it
marry a
Faye
bunch
Day
of
and
people.
and do time slots for couples.
Or
for
do them all
45
together, and then they each have their own thing, for a cheaper price. Think
Yeah.
about it.
Maybe you should.
I'm going to talk to Darrell and Robert.
I'll be the first
Now that they're
ones.
bishops, I'm going to
Yeah.
talk to them and see if they
Bishop,
want to
yes.
do them.
Yeah, a Faye Day.
I think that they would be completely on board with that.
It might be a really great idea.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
You really did.
That makes
You'll
you
hear
the
more-
ring bearer or the,
Fine,
or the flower
fine.
girl.
I'll do it. I'll do all of them. As long as I get married while I'm there, we're good.
Done.
Yeah.
Done. No problem.
Done. A Faye Day. I love that. That's cute.
Next, Yale psychiatrist Dr. Amanda Calhoun says that LGBTQ plus people are not obligated to spend time with family
About
members
this.
who voted for Donald Trump. Speaking with MSNBC's Joy Reid, Calhoun addressed the upcoming holidays amidst MAGA's anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. She emphasized setting boundaries, saying it's fine to say, quote, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood, and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me, end quote. Calhoun urged protecting both children and adults from harmful family dynamics, regardless of traditions. Watch this.
There is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going into a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me. And I actually talk to, adults as well as advising parents for children. I mean, I think, I don't think that you should force children. I don't think you should force adults to be around people just because they're your family. I think there's a level of, need to establish boundaries. And if you feel like you need to establish boundaries with people, whether they're your family or not, I think you should very much be entitled to do so. And I think it may be essential for your mental health.
Psychiatrist Calhoun tells us to ditch our Trump voting family. What are we all talking about? We were just talking about
this, but I agree. Listen, I agree and I don't. You know, at the same time, I think voicing your opinion to the family members who may have voted against your livelihood is healthy. I think that's
and important.
You should do that.
And
of
important.
course.
Maybe it's too soon right now.
Right, but I agree with setting boundaries.
Yes.
And I also agree that if you are the type of person that it's going to maybe raise a certain level of anxiety, or you're just going to be completely uncomfortable with the decisions that these people, these family members of yours have made, then you need to absolutely do what's best for you.
Yeah.
We are all not going to feel the same way about this, and it's not meant to be this one thing.
It's not this or this.
But it is, they did vote against our livelihood. That we cannot change.
Yeah.
You cannot take that away from us because it's true. How you, as a queer person at home, listening, watching us right now, how you decide to proceed and deal with that, that is on you. And I don't believe anyone should be telling anyone how they should react.
Yeah.
That's my main point.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. And if any of you out there have tried to fight with a Trumper, you know that there's a cognitive dissonance. There's nothing that you can tell them that'll make that'll penetrate.
Yeah, right.
So who at the end of the day, who's going to be sad and upset? You. You're the one. They have a way of still being happy about it. It's weird, right? Like, for Thanksgiving, like Teresa has a very small family, right? And her mom is 80 plus years old. Like, we're not going to not go because of her views. We can't do that.
Right.
We don't have that much time with her.
But your wife will absolutely set a boundary, even with her.
Exactly. With her brother, with her brother and her mother, we will say a boundary. We'll say, you know what, we're going to have a great family time. Let's not talk about this time.
That's right.
And that right there saves everybody involved.
That's what we do at my grandmother's house. She says, you know what, I love everyone here. And for the next 2-3 hours that everyone's under my roof, we're not going to talk about this. And that's it.
That's it. And that's not being disrespectful to us or your community or your values or how you voted. It's just, we're just a little smarter than they are, okay? And we just need to just not make the situation worse. Because like I said, the only one that's going to be isolated and hurt is going to be you.
And I think that you made a really good point. I think that, and I say this not as an attack to our community, because listen, Wilton Manors and Miami, where we are here, this, from Miami to Wilton, it's a small community. It looks bigger on paper, but it's really, really tiny. And sometimes this community has a way of making you feel really wrong about your decisions just because they all don't see eye to eye, you know? And it's like, I understand that we live in a certain age demographic too, in Wilton Manors especially, right? So the men who are of a certain age in Wilton Manors and who have been here for 30, 40, 50, 60 plus years, men and women, have fought so much harder than we have, you know? So it's like, there's gonna be a little bit of that jadedness that just comes along with it because they've done so much for people like me to walk, you know? And I get that too. But I don't love when I see our community against one another. I don't love when the hate is coming from within. From within. You know, everyone is a really tough critic on each other in the queer community, and it's like, we just need more love. You know, that's it.
For real. That is definitely the truth.
Yeah.
So the FayWhat show is part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus media companies in America. Hotspots magazine has been documenting the LGBTQ plus experience for 40 years, and Happening Out television network has been bringing you daily LGBTQ plus news, talk shows, and more for 4 years. In the same model of PBS and NPR, we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is to educate and serve the LGBTQ plus community. Next, at the FayWhat show, we gotta help our gay boys. And in our segment called, this is one of your favorites,
It really
I know.
is. I love
Dear
this one.
FayWhat, I provide my expert lesbian knowledge and my vast experience as a living, breathing gay boy in a lesbian's body to help my fellow gay boys. This week, not my president. Oh my God, I see the theme of today's show.
It's good.
Oh my
good,
God,
actually.
not my president, not my bro. All right, from Miami,
Yep.
sent us an email. Dear FayWhat and gay boy God in bed. That's you.
That's me.
You're a gay boy God.
I'm the God.
Ooh, look at you.
I thought it just said Dear FayWhat and gay, and I thought that was hysterical. And just Dear FayWhat and gay.
And gay.
Comment. That's fucking funny. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but it's gay
That's
boy
funny.
God. Gay boy God in bed.
Yeah.
All right.
Love it. I'll take
Like
it.
a lot of people, I'm completely distraught over the election results. As a member of the LGBTQ plus community, I've never been more afraid for my future and sad for my country. What is most upsetting to me, however, is learning that my younger brother voted for Trump. On election night, he was celebrating while my mom and I were in despair. I feel a conflicting mix of emotions: anger, sadness, betrayal, disgust, but mostly I'm not sure how or if my relationship with him can heal from this. He doesn't seem to understand or care about the real life impact of this election or the impact his giddiness over Trump's victory has on me, which, to be honest, is the most appalling part. I seriously have no idea how to communicate with him right now and what I would even say. I love my brother, which is why this hurts so much, but I'm having a real hard time seeing how I can possibly have a relationship with him moving forward. Any advice? Not my president, not my bro from Miami. What do you think, Eric?
I mean, I think that he said, I don't know what I would say to him. And then the next line was, I love my brother so much and it's really hurting me. I would probably start there. You know, I'd probably start with, I love you. And, you know, I am not asking you to climb Mount Everest. I'm just asking you to see it from my point of view. Yeah. I think a little bit of recognition to the situation and to the fear that we have as queer people would go a long way. You know, I think that, you know, hearing a family member that voted a certain way who then comes back and maybe says, I sort of got wrapped up in everything. I didn't think about, you know, equality and you, because I thought more about eggs and
gas,
you know, gas prices. I think that those little moments go a really long way. So I would try to tell my brother as calmly as I could, you know, that he hurt me, but I would make sure that the message was bounded with love.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, bro.
Not
you know,
easy. Not easy.
Not easy. And
Not
what you're
easy.
feeling is not is 100%
I agree about the giddiness,
normal.
by the way. I agree about the giddiness. The giddiness of Trump, like the Trump swag, you know, like when the makeup, the hats and the shirts, and the car stickers. I agree. It's a lot. It's enough. Like I agree with him.
No,
on that level.
and I think that we have trauma. As gay people, and we're triggered. Like, you know, we saw a MAGA hat today before we came in to film, and both of us were
in
like,
the same room as
what is this doing here? What happened? And
I can actually see it right now.
And it was used as a prop in something about 4 years ago, okay? But mind you, I saw it and I was like, Oh.
I tensed up. for a
Right, me
second.
too.
I actually said to we call Steve our line producer, executive
he's
producer,
everything.
I said, if no one wants it, I'll take it. I won't wear it. But I was like, if someone's gonna have a cute, if someone's gonna have a Make America Great Again hat, it might as well be a hot pink one.
Well, no, and I completely was like, we were vandalized just by somebody putting a hat here. I was like, we were vandalized. What's going on?
I walked in and he was in the bathroom. I was like, what? Make America, whose hat is this?
know?
I was like, I know it's not Luna's. But yeah.
Listen, honey, bro in Miami, right? You live in Miami, and that's also another thing, you know?
Yeah.
Miami went red immediately, and it was a scary time. It made a lot of people in Miami. My best friend, who is like the best ally in the world, Michelle, has decided to move out of Dade County and move up to Broward just because of how red it happened just
She's
like
moving
that.
up here?
January 9th, she's moved up to Broward. I mean,
Wow.
and I don't blame her. You know what I mean?
But like, for
you know,
those of you knowing, for trying to get the analogy at home, this girl lives, breathes everything Miami.
Miami,
like born,
yeah,
raised, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Her, she's from New York originally, but her job, she works for a nonprofit in Miami. Like Miami is her base, her foundation. You know,
She's gonna
so
do that commute, honey.
to have to do, and she'd rather
Do the commute.
than give the money to Miami because of what's happened there. So listen, bro, it's not easy, but like Eric said, boundaries are so important,
Yeah.
right? And you deserve
love.
that boundary and love.
Love.
You know. It might be too soon to talk to your brother about this right now because they're still in the giddiness, right? They're
100%.
still in that kind of time. There will be an I told you so moment. It just doesn't have to be right now, you know? You know, it's tough with the holidays coming, all of that.
There will be a major I told you so moment. I can't agree with you more on that. There will be a moment of reckoning where people, not all people who voted red, but hopefully some people in your circle have that moment, and it'll happen soon. I mean, there was a moment today with Robert Kennedy Jr.
The guy with the worms.
eating McDonald's on the plane with
yeah. I saw that.
Donald Trump and his whole party. Meanwhile, he is then on his Instagram attacking seed oils, which are exactly what the French fries are cooked in at McDonald's, and all of the food is cooked in that. You know, so it's like, what are we to believe here?
We're
So
kind of
it's happening already.
It's happening, and we're kind of in an upside down world,
Yeah.
and you can't change it,
Yeah.
bro.
Right,
you know,
right.
right now. So
Yeah.
just try to stay. I know it sounds effed up, but just try to stay in your lane. And you know what? By what your email tells me, your mom's on your side. You know, so
Don't
that's
drink. Don't drink.
Don't drink during the holidays.
Don't drink. That would be another piece of it. Like, don't stay sober. You know,
Yeah.
stay on your shit. You know, don't.
Just in
Let
case.
your brother drink and make a fool out of himself and try to bring things up with you, and you stay sober and grounded. Don't drink on the holidays.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right. So I think you got some good advice, bro, and good luck. Okay. Keep those emails coming. If you've got something that maybe we can help you with here on the FayWhat Show, send over an email to faywhat@happeningout.com.
We should do a whole show of just emails.
I know.
Like just reading emails.
Just
and
giving
answering.
Advice.
Yes. we
Because
really
they're so
should.
good.
We
you
really
know,
should.
like
Yes.
we're doing a public service.
We
there.
really should.
You know, like some people are afraid to talk to their friends about this kind of stuff, you know, and you could always talk to us about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this week, are you working? Are you also at
I'm
trivia?
working.
The day before
What day is it?
Thanksgiving.
Oh yes, so I am. So it's yes, I am. I just Thanksgiving is Thursday, right?
Yes.
And it's Monday. Right now, yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm working. By the way, I am no longer hosting karaoke at the Well. I want to
Okay.
just say that out there.
Okay.
There was no bad breakup whatsoever.
I saw your post. You left so
just
lovingly.
Lovingly, gonna go and sub if they need here and there. But I am expanding my hosting positions all over the drive, so I had to give Tuesday up. But Wednesday I have trivia, and then Sunday I have karaoke.
Sunday at Tropics.
It's so fun, and it's like the best singers I've ever heard in my life, and that is a place where it just feels like community. It really does. It's like a new place to me. So I'm learning more about it, but I find that the pub and Tropics just feel a little warmer. I don't know. I can't describe it, but you know what I mean.
I
You know, it's just
completely
like a
know.
little-
I completely know what
Yeah.
you mean. You know, like when it comes to pub, Alexander's the owner, and he's
Yeah.
so hands-on, and he makes you feel he's thanking you while he's paying you,
Yeah.
right? Like,
No, yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that makes you feel. And he comes up to me randomly, like, "Thank you for your support." I'm like, "Dude,
Yeah.
you serious?" You know? And then I feel that way at Tropics. So for Alpha Kamala, I
Oh
did
yeah.
an event
Oh
there,
right, you did that. Oh,
and
right,
that was
right,
my
right.
first event
They
at Tropics.
They housed
That was my first time at Tropics in
wild.
that capacity.
Yeah, that's
and
wild.
and supported. The staff was amazing.
Food's good.
Anything that the food is
Yeah, food's really
delicious.
great. Food is
The
really
food
great.
is delicious.
Yeah.
But I feel supported as a person that's booked to work there.
Yeah,
you know
you
what I mean.
should.
I really did feel.
And it's a major
warm
safe space for
and
lesbians
fuzzy,
as
you
well,
know?
by the way.
So
Yeah.
I love it. So all you karaoke folks out there, right?
Come,
that you're always
please
wondering
come.
where to go.
Yes.
Go on Sunday,
Yes.
okay?
And
The acoustics in there are fantabulous. Ask Miss Bouvier. She don't
Yes.
sing everywhere because of that. All right.
But I will tell you before Sunday,
Uh-huh.
my holiday and Christmas extravaganza, also at Tropics, opens week 1. And this is a breaking news, so I can say it here because I'm allowed.
Yeah.
Week 1, my first guest is 8 members of the Gay Man's Chorus of South Florida singing a cappella.
Nice.
Holiday carols. And then Gabe Salazar will be singing as well.
I love Gabe.
And then Matthew Darren is my headliner. So I almost forgot what date it was. So yes, karaoke's on the 30th, 29th.
29th. Uh-huh.
And the holiday is the Friday before, so the 27th. So
I love that.
Yes, please come.
That's gonna be
Reserve.
awesome.
And I've got a table with your name on it.
I'm
Everything.
there.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yes,
Listen,
you and
we're
Teresa.
ready. We're ready for the
Yes, yes,
holidays,
yes.
right? Let's celebrate, right?
Yeah.
You know you want to sing that Mariah song?
Yes, and I'm using projections. I'm doing a live projection from Rockefeller Center, the ice rink. So it's a level of production. It's Bobby Blair is producing it. I'm really,
Bobby.
really excited to bring it. So
Awesome.
he would have killed me if I didn't.
He would have
Oh my
killed you. I'm
gosh.
so glad that we
I'm
talked
so
about
glad. You had to. It was a trigger word. You said like booked or working, and I was like, oh yeah, work. Yes.
You're like, I have to work. I have to work.
Work. Yes.
Hi, thank you,
Yes.
Eric, for
God, I
being
love
in
you.
bed with me. I
Mwah.
love you so
Love you
much.
alone.
Follow him on social media to find
Yes.
out what he's doing. There's so many
A
spectacular
lot of
events
things.
coming up. A lot of ways to just feel your warm and fuzzy holiday self, okay?
Yes.
The election happened, it did, but that's not going to somber us for the holidays.
Right.
We're going to shine brighter than ever because now we have to.
And we're gonna keep doing the work for our
We're
queer
gonna keep
community.
doing the work.
We're gonna keep doing the
We ain't
work.
going nowhere, right? Did you know that the Happening Out Television Network studios are located at Sunshine Cathedral Square, which also houses Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church located in Fort Lauderdale? We broadcast their Sunday service every week at 10:30 a.m. Before I move ahead, let me remind you the Travel Club is planning Machu Picchu and Peru by train, departing on September 17th, 2025. We'll be broadcasting shows at Machu Picchu, Lima, and a whole lot more. Join us if you love to have fun. Here, take a look and find out more at happeningout.travel/FayWhat. At the FayWhat Show, we want to introduce you to interesting people who are important to our LGBTQ plus community. This morning, I present to you an interview with one such influential queer trailblazer. Here's Miik Martorell. I'm really excited about my next guest. So we have Miik Martorell with me today. DJ, owner of Planet Printer, former president of Pride Fort Lauderdale, and Pride connoisseur all around. So DJ Miik, is a DJ and the owner of Planet Printer, a print and sign company in Hollywood, right up the road. He's a Cuban-American born and raised in South Florida. Miik has spent over 27 years as a DJ in area nightclubs, including the famous The Copa. The Copa was the first place I ever took my top off at. The Saint, the Coliseum, that was the second place I took my top off. Voodoo Lounge, guess what? That was the third place I took my top off. And, of course, world famous, The Manor. And can you believe that it has been that long, Miik, that you have been spinning? Like, does it feel like 27 years?
No, actually it doesn't. It's really amazing because every time I go someplace, it's like, it's new to me. I don't know what it is. I really enjoy watching people have a good time.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I connected so much with Pride too. I really enjoy people having a good time.
Oh my God. Well, I was with you the other day because we were doing an event on the Drive, right? And somebody mentioned Coliseum. I don't know why, right? Like somebody just took me to the side and said, "Is that Miik? Like, I've seen him somewhere." I go, "Well, you could have seen him in a million places, right?" And then they're like, "No, it was Coliseum. It was Coliseum." And it was like, It was just a name that I hadn't heard in so long, right? And then I asked you about it and we were talking about the ladder. Remember the ladder?
Yes. Oh my God. The deadly ladder.
So it's like, how do you get up? So, okay, DJ booth, and there was like a ladder to get up there
to
like
carry
this little
records.
area. That was my question. So how did you get the records? Did you strap them to your back? Like,
sometimes I actually did have a backpack that you could put someone in your bag, but I would carry crates up, so I would have to take and carry a crate and dig one arm up. It was really kind of crazy.
Oh my God.
But it was cool. I mean, I got used to it after a while. Then it went to CDs, which was much easier.
Yes.
So
and now it's just your laptop, which is much easier.
So much easier. Yeah.
But oh my God, you brought me back. You had to take the crates because I remember working with you at Voodoo Lounge. And at Voodoo Lounge, I already knew who you were. You didn't know who I was, of course. But I had already known who you were. And then I see you carrying your own shit, right? And I was like, what? Like, he's carrying his own shit. And then every once in a while, you'd have somebody helping you or whatever it was. You know what I mean? But like, I thought that you were such a big name in our community, yet you still carried your own records. Like, I was blown away by just that fact, you know?
Please, honestly, there are people in this community that are way bigger than me. Abel, for example.
Oh my God, Abel, yeah.
Massive, talented DJs that, Grammy-nominated, Grammy Award-winning DJs, just like, I'm nobody in comparison to them. And so for me, I always looked at DJing as customer service. My job is to make sure they have a good time and they have fun. Really, it's not about me. It doesn't matter what music I'm playing. I can play really anything. It's just to make sure that the people that are dancing are there to dance and have a good time and really walk away happy.
Yeah.
And I had a trademark when I was DJing, it was always to keep the energy up and up and up. And I would start to build at one level and the BPMs would rise and rise. And people would always tell me, I would make CDs, all these CDs, and give away. I've given away thousands of CDs over my career. And they were like, I love your CDs because they're perfect to work out to. Because then you start to move up and your heart rate goes up. And I'm like, it's just happened to be that I just looked at it and that was the way my formula. It was like always going a little bit faster, a little bit more. And it was so much fun. I mean, and the music was amazing.
What do you think, like, what do you listen to now in the car? What do you jam out with your clam out? Like, like if you're just like, okay, I want to sing in the car today, what do you listen to?
Okay, so guilty pleasure is boy bands.
Boy bands! I love it.
No doubt, absolutely.
But you mean like boy bands in sync, like 98 Degrees, like back in the day, like Backstreet Boys, that?
Yep, just like that.
Can you imagine DJ Miik in his car freaking just, bolting out like a Backstreet Boys?
And literally singing them. I tried to put a boy band together. I don't know if you know that.
No!
Yeah, I had a group called Image, and we actually started at the Coliseum, and we were rehearsing, and it came out of that whole... what was it called? The O-Town, you know what O-Town?
Yes. The making of the band.
Making of the band.
Yes.
I even had a toll-free number, 1-800-MAKE-THE, so it make the band, basically. So I did the whole thing. I advertised in New Times. I did everything I could to try to get a group together. And of course, I think the only thing we actually performed at was like...
the Coliseum.
No, the Special Olympics. That was it. Yeah, that was the only thing we actually performed at. But it was cool, Latrice. She
I
taught
love
us to
Latrice.
dance.
Shut up.
She did. I put a whole recording. It had a recording studio. I had a full-on dance.
And when he says
place.
Latrice, for you people that are not on the first name basis with this freaking world-known queen, he means Latrice.
Royale.
You know, Royale. Okay, she doesn't even need to have her last name said. You know what he meant.
She was amazing. She helped us all learn to dance, and she was our choreographer.
What?
I
love that.
It didn't go very far, unfortunately, but I really enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
I really had a
Well,
good time.
and that's it. You've done a lot of things that you enjoy, especially like, for example, you're like the super volunteer. Okay. I've got to, you're like you should get like the Lifetime Achievement Award for volunteerism. Okay. Because you have volunteered at over 85 prides. 85 prides, okay? So what would you...
Around the world.
Around the world, excuse
not
me.
just here.
Around the world, because we have 85 prides here sometimes. But around the freaking world, what would you do if you went... Give me a faraway pride that you went to.
Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Okay. When you went to Buenos Aires, Argentina's pride, what did you do as a volunteer there?
Believe it or not, their pride doesn't have... they don't have
barricades.
Barricades. Thank you.
Most
Thank you for reading
places. No, I do, because Costa Rica, a lot of Colombia, none of them have
They
barricades
don't
for
have
their
barricades.
pride.
So what happens is that as the floats are going through, they have people holding a rope around the parade float, and they basically create a perimeter. So as they're walking
With the
down
rope.
with the rope, so it keeps people away. Well, in Buenos Aires, they'll make money anyway. They can. There are people in shopping carts mixing drinks 3 feet in front of so it was my job with my broken Spanish to push people out kindly, and that's what I did. That was my job when I was there. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it was the most amazing experience. And I know I'm probably gonna go off topic, but I have to tell you this. That pride was so beautiful because it was so symbolic of everything. It started out in Casa Rosada, which is with the pink house, it's like our White House, and they would stay. All these different groups, 150 different groups, had to all agree on everything they were going to do.
Oh, wow. I can't imagine
groups.
that happening here. 150 groups agreeing on one thing.
Yes, so they had to agree or it wouldn't happen. And it was part of a federation. So those groups would come up. They would make demands of the government. Then they would take those demands down to Plaza Mayor, to Congress, to deliver those demands. It was the most symbolic and beautiful thing you could ever imagine.
Beautiful.
Isn't it really?
And how did they keep it's okay? So I've been to Colombia Pride. To Medellin Pride, excuse me, in Colombia, and I've been to Costa Rica for their Pride, San Jose, I believe it was, and they don't have any barricades, and there's still 2 to 3 million people at their prides. It's not, we think it's a lot here when we have 50,000, and it's a beautiful thing to have that number. But they have 1 million plus, Mike, with no barricades and people like you holding a rope, getting people through.
Yeah.
And yet it still happens. It's still successful. Everybody's has joy in their heart, with just coming together like that,
I think the point of it is that how does it happen is because you have people who really want it to happen. I mean, nothing that a pride organizer or pride groups do is done without lots of love.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what city you're in, it doesn't matter what country you're in. These people really genuinely care.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that some people might lose is that some people are put in situations and they say bad things about them. But how do you say bad things about somebody who literally gives up their own time for free to do something to help the community?
Yeah.
And really and do it unselfishly because they really want to make a change happen.
With a smile on their face.
With a smile on their face and get beat up.
And get beat up and get exhausted and get dirty and all of that.
It is exhausting.
85, over 85 prides, which one was the most fun?
Oh my God.
I know that's hard, okay?
It was amazing to be in the World Pride Parade in New York. That was amazing. In Madrid, in that World Pride Parade, it was amazing as well. That was... I honestly, I felt like I was home in Madrid because my family's originally from Spain, and there's a small town named Martorell right outside of Barcelona, and so there's so that's my last name, so there's obviously some sort of connection there, but it just felt like I was at home. I loved Rio because the people were really great, and I loved Buenos Aires. I mean, not to mention, there's so many of our own here that I'm proud of, but it's hard to choose.
It's really hard to choose. Which pride had the prettiest people? Come on. I need to know this.
The prettiest people, There were some pretty people in Buenos Aires, and same with Rio. In New York, I think there was a lot of pretty people there too.
One.
Yeah.
Which had the prettiest?
Oh God. Maybe. I think Rio.
Okay. Which Pride had the most drunk people?
I think Rio.
Okay, all right, okay. Which do you mark off the list and say, I don't need to go back to that Pride?
Oh, none of them.
None of them.
I could absolutely go back.
None
to
of them.
I went to oh my God, Suriname.
Where's that?
It's actually considered part of the Caribbean. It's okay. It's French Guiana and
Okay.
and Guyana. It's in between the two of them. And
they had a pride.
They have a pride there, and the people there, the whole entire community comes together. My job was trying to make sure, because it was starting to rain, that I was kind of diverting some of the flood waters so that it wouldn't get into the place. And but the day of the parade, it wasn't bad. It was just the day after. But it was really beautiful, and the people were so nice, and I mean, it is not an easy place to get to either.
No, I bet. I mean, I can't. Wow.
Yeah, it was a little bit, because it's not like here where everything's really connected together.
Yeah. So let's talk about Pride Fort Lauderdale. So Mike joined the board of Pride Fort Lauderdale in 2015.
Yes.
Right, is that correct? Okay. And was elected treasurer, eventually becoming president until October of 2024, right? Who was on the board when you started in 2015?
That was Norm Kent. He was the president.
Oh, rest in peace. Oh
yes,
my God.
I know. Norm was he really cared about Pride.
And he was a very stern, harsh person and a harsh critic about things, but he knew his shit, you know?
He didn't, I always looked at him as a guy who was, I developed a different feel for him after the years. Like, I thought in the beginning he was mean, and I realized he wasn't a mean guy. He just wants people to own up and say the truth. And that's why I always wanted to make sure that whatever I did, that's the way I felt, because there's no reason for me to hide.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a human being. I'm allowed to make mistakes.
Of course.
And if I make a mistake, I'd rather hey, I'm sorry I made this mistake, than to hide it, because then it looks like I did it on purpose.
Yeah, no, of course.
So he was one of
was
those people that was just really, he was great to work with. I remember one thing he did. He came in and said, okay, it's like 2 weeks before, right? Okay, guys, we got to get all the contracts together. We've got to get the stuff with the city done. We have to, I say, that's been done already. He says, well, okay. And it's like, yeah, we're on top of it.
Yeah, no, he expected for you not to be, you know? So who else was on that board?
We had, oh my God, I can't remember who else was on the board.
I mean, it's almost 10 years ago, so I get it. I can't remember what the hell I did last week. But during that time was when
Sean Manning was on the board.
Oh, Sean, Big Sean,
yes,
Big Sean.
Of course.
And that was when it was still at the War Memorial?
Yes. That was last year.
Like, that place is like, they've redone that whole entire place. It looks amazing, Mike.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do Pride there now because they have everything going on, so it wouldn't even happen.
But it was such a, it was a great place. It was a great space for what it was, you know? And how long were you guys there?
For many, many years.
Okay, I thought so.
And so here's the thing. This is what I tell people. I liked it, but people don't come to Fort Lauderdale to go to the War Memorial Auditorium in Holiday Park. They come for the beach.
The beach.
And it was not my idea. It was actually Rocky's idea. Rocky was part of the board at the time, too. I forgot about that. It was Rocky's idea to move it to the beach. And at that point, that was where, that's what I did, is I followed through and said, let's do it. And that's when we decided to move it to the beach back in 2017 was the first year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, I remember the beach. Love it.
Yeah.
Fast forward to World Pride, right? So Pride of the Americas got canceled because of COVID-19.
Yep.
How tough was that? I mean, like, you've been a part of this. Like, it's kind of like your baby, right? You put this Pride together and then you see it through, and it's like you birthed it and everything. So to have to cancel.
It was postponed. I was always very clear.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Because the truth is that we did postpone it.
You didn't know. Nobody knew.
No, and we didn't know when it was going to happen. And I think the hard part was, was trying to put it together again and try to pick up the pieces. One thing that happened is we were given $500,000 from the Convention and Visitors Bureau at the time to put this on. So we had booked talent. We were literally, the week that we had to postpone, we were literally about to book Diana freaking Ross. Like, legitimately Diana freaking Ross.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was hard. That was the thing I hated the most, because it would have been great, but it was only a few weeks before Pride, so it was really kind of a bad time anyway for us to be booking her. But she already had another gig. We had to wait till after that gig before she could do it. Anyway, the long story short is she the hard part was trying to, they wanted a full refund of everything. It's like, well, we've already spent money that we had to spend. That's, we know this. They finally agreed to take half of it back. So that put us in a situation where we just didn't have any money, you know, so we were trying to pull together our pride and we just didn't have it. So that's what I think hurt the most, having to take these grand scale of great ideas and then, dwindle it down to just one weekend, or 1 or 2 days. It was just not what we hoped for. But at the same time, we still had it. We still fulfilled our commitment.
You mean like Part of the Americas?
Yeah, from Part of the Americas. Yeah, I mean, that was really, it was a challenge.
Yeah.
We didn't think we were going to make it. It looked like we weren't going to make it, but somehow we pulled it off. And,
so Part of the Americas had Boy George.
Yeah.
Boy George.
Yeah.
Boy freaking George, right?
That was amazing.
In retrospect, do you think that was a good choice?
Again, we were going to have him and Diana Ross. That was the original plan. Actually, we would love to have...
Oh my God, him and Diana Ross would have been epic.
Days. Yeah, it would have been 2 different days and it would have been great. But here's the thing. What people don't know is that it's not easy to get people to come out perform for free. It just doesn't happen. Everybody's like, oh, you can get... how many times have I heard this? Like, you can get Madonna or you can get... oh my God. Well, Madonna, let's say. Pick one. Lady Gaga. And she'll come and she loves the gays. Yeah, she loves the money too.
No, yeah, it doesn't work that way. And most of these events that you go to, understand that the organization has to put up a bunch of money to pay this artist. 9 out of 10 times, the artist is not coming for free. Somebody's paying them, okay? Somebody is,
And let me give you an idea of what a Lady Gaga goes for. Well over $1 million.
Woo!
Well over $1 million.
Okay, what does an Adam Lambert go for? I mean, Adam Lambert is amazing. He's incredible and he's an icon, He
was, when Miami Beach had him, and you're not supposed to know this, but I would say $20K. Wow. Okay. That was
and that was that
many
time.
Years ago.
And that was that time.
Now he's easily over $200,000 probably. We tried to get Christina Aguilera. Try to offer her $250,000. Wouldn't even bat an eyelash at it.
$250,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pride of the Americas. I was part of the people who announced the parade on A1A.
Yes.
Right, and then Gary Santos threw me on stage, and I hosted half the show. I didn't even know I was going. Literally, I was there standing, and Gary's like, "Okay, here's a mic. That person's coming up next. Let's go."
And I was happy.
And I was like. What? Oh, okay. Right? Like, I mean, what am I going to say to Gary? I can never say no to that man. You know what I mean?
No,
For years and years, I can't.
I understand.
So I was like, okay, so
I'm in the same position. He gave me my start. And really, like, if not for him, I wouldn't be doing anything right now. I don't know what I would be. Like, I owe him my life. It's really, and you feel like you're indebted to somebody and you just want to do it. Plus, you're really good at it. And everybody loves you. And it really was a highlight to have you there for us. Aww. It really meant a lot.
I was happy to be there.
Yeah.
I was happy to be there because, there was so much drama around it and people were talking so much crap. And at the end of the day, it was a day to unify our community. It was, I hear people, oh, we have too many prides. No, we don't. We need to have more prides. The reality is that the more that we show out in numbers, especially now after what happened with this election, we have to be more visible than ever.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So if there's a pride, I'm there. I'm from New York. In New York, every borough has a pride.
Oh, yeah.
All the small cities in Jersey, Asbury Park has a pride.
Yeah.
Like you go,
that was my first pride.
You have 46 prides in just 2 little states. Not little states, but in 2 states.
Yeah,
so
definitely not little.
Was that profitable? Was the event profitable?
Believe it or not, it made money. I think we ended up with a net of like $36,000 or something like that, $1,000 afterwards, which is incredible because it didn't look like it was going to. It just didn't look like it was even possible.
Well, and it was one of the first events out of COVID. And it wasn't out of COVID. We weren't out of COVID, but it was like kind of like one of the first events where people were allowed to come back together. And
it was definitely a different environment than what we had before. And we had to move it to a smaller space. Other thing people don't know. I'm good with numbers. I'm very good at logistics. I have a spreadsheet. I could tell you how much it costs to put together any kind of event you want on the beach because I have everything literally in a spreadsheet. It's got hundreds of items on it and down to not just security, but how much it costs to put the fencing up. And every one of those parking spaces, unfortunately, the city was really nice to us for years. It was $10 a space on days that we weren't setting up, but that we were just setting up, and then $20 a space on days that we were actually getting, like having in our event. So it wasn't too bad. Then they decided to go, no, it's going to be $37. I think it's like $30 an hour. It was like $37 a space. Understand, you have 478 spaces there. It was tens of thousands of dollars
and
just
doubled,
to do it there.
and doubled from like what you had expected from the past.
Yeah, and so it was impossible. We had to move it from there.
Wow.
I mean, there's not one thing that we did that we took lightly.
No,
we looked at everything and said, this is what makes sense, and we had it. I keep stressing to people, it's like, it wasn't what we planned, but we actually pulled it off. There was something else that happened down here that was planned and never happened. Remember World Out Games?
Yes.
Okay. That never happened.
Yeah. And some people weren't even told, and there was so much drama
People coming
with that.
down
like,
and wasted money, and people's money never got back.
Oh my God, I remember that.
We fulfilled everybody's, things that we had contracts done. I mean, we did everything that we could possibly do.
Yeah.
And we had a really great team of people. So at the end of the day, I try to remind people, look, we had an event that most people had written us off for.
Yeah.
That wasn't even going to happen.
And you still did it. And during that time, was that when you had Kevin Clevenger and
Yes.
Kitty on the board?
Yes.
Did you have Ernie yet at this point?
No, Ernie was not involved.
No, Ernie was not in yet.
He's always helped us over the years with ideas and things like that because he's got tremendous amount of experience, like 20-something years in Pride.
Did you feel supported with that with that board that you had at that time? I mean, there was a lot going on, Mike.
So I told you, whatever you want to talk to me about, I'm open. At this point, since I'm no longer on the board, I have really nothing that I have to worry about because I always had to be careful not to be disrespectful. And I'm not going to be disrespectful, but I felt like we had a board of people that were put on the board to take it over and do something else with it. Whatever that was, I don't know. And I just felt like that. I could be 100% wrong, but it felt like that. And then when I mentioned that to other people, they said, "Oh yeah, we all knew that. We just thought you were okay with it."
Oh my
so
God.
so when I had other people reiterate that same concern, now I will tell you that Kevin is an incredibly talented, super high energy person, and I do like him. I really do. There was a time I would do anything in the world for him, and I don't want to see anything but good things happen to him. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But we just didn't agree on things at that point. And whatever it was, whatever happened. It wasn't what I would have hoped the ending would have been. I really wish somehow we could have worked together because the people from Flockfest, I thought the world of them too. I was really proud of what they did on the beach and how they started so small and they built it up. But there was just something going on that wasn't that we just weren't seeing eye to eye on. And again, I could be 100% wrong, but whatever it was, it just didn't feel right, and we ended up in a bad situation. And when people are just showing up on the board and it looks like it's getting stacked to get votes through, something felt really weird about that. That's the way it looked.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are stories that Pride Fort Lauderdale at the end of it all was in debt.
No,
over it. That's not true.
There
because I know you've spoken to John Hayden, and I know that you've also felt that like a lot of the things that you said that were factual were not put in some of his stories. And I want to make sure that whatever you feel wasn't put in the story, you're able to say now.
Well, let me just say this for what it's worth. It's very dangerous to report things and not give the whole story, because first of all, when you destroy someone's reputation who is really genuinely shouldn't be destroyed,
Do you think that John...
Absolutely.
You think he destroyed your
100%,
reputation?
100%. If you Google my name, his articles come up and they question my integrity, and I've done nothing to deserve that. The only thing that I did is I didn't give him answers fast enough because I didn't have the answers myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give you an answer that might change and then I look even more like a fool. I spent 2 times on a phone with him, 45 minutes each time, going over whatever he wants. You can see how much I talk. I do not hide things. I think it's literally impossible for me to keep a secret.
Yeah.
Ask Scott. He'll tell you.
Aww.
He always says to Mike, if I tell you something, you can't tell anybody. You can't tell anybody. You can't tell anybody. It's a secret. I don't want you to tell him. It's his birthday. Blah blah. No, it doesn't matter. I'm bad with it. But for sure, it was. At that time, I was telling him things that were 100% true, and things would get left out. And then it made us lose a sponsor. And then other sponsors may have been concerned. I mean, it was just like, why? It's dangerous to do that, because when you do it, you scare people who have good intentions off from doing those positions in the future. So who are you going to find now who's going to want to step into a position knowing that there are people out there to get him or her?
Or her.
Yes. And there should be more her, by the way.
There definitely should be more her. There are stories about you paying out of pocket for things for Pride Fort Lauderdale.
Absolutely.
Do you think that I think we're going to talk about this later, but I think that you had told me before our interview that Planet was super affected the last couple of months?
We lost $50,000 in 3 months.
Do you think that you helping out Pride Fort Lauderdale personally helped hurt your business?
So to the degree of what I was doing, anytime we had to print something, Pride never paid for it. It didn't matter. It did not matter, with the exception of a tent or something like that, where I would hook them up at my price. They would pay directly, never pay me. Nothing was ever written to me. No money was ever paid to me. It was all done for the, it was all done for me to give it for free, basically. Anything I did was basically for free. It just, because I didn't want somebody questioning my integrity. I just didn't want somebody to say, he's only doing it because he gets paid. I remember that was something that that was questioned before with Norm Kent. He had said something about a previous person saying that the only reason he was on the board is because he was making money off of them. And I was like,
wow.
Something, I'm going to take your message and I'm going to make sure you know that that's not going to happen here. So go back, take a look at it. There's nothing there. I don't care personally about giving, because I think it shows that I'm invested in it just as much as I want other people to be invested in it.
Yeah, no, but
put your money where your mouth is.
Put your money where your mouth is. Right? I mean, you're highly invested.
Did it hurt? It did hurt my business a little bit, but it did hurt my business for sure in June, as I spent a lot of money going on the Pride tour, which I paid for. I always out of pocket.
Okay, wow, that's a lot. So then you fold in Ernie into the mix as your executive director over at Pride Fort Lauderdale. He came from Nevada. He came from Vegas. He came from Las Vegas, and where he has an impressionable resume. He's done a lot. You bring him in, and you have him live with your mom.
Yeah, people don't know that. He moved in with my mom. He stayed with my mom when he was here, and my mom recently lost, a few years ago, lost her husband. And so in a way, it was kind of a good thing to have him there.
To have the company.
Yeah, but he's been staying with her, and it just made it more possible. It's not very easy. The rents and stuff here are off the chain crazy.
Yeah.
Even my business rent just went up 60%. 60 freaking percent.
That's
I had
not,
to lay somebody off to pay rent.
Oh my God, that's not a couple $100s, people.
No.
That's 60%. Can you imagine that?
That went up $4,000 a month. I pay $14,700 a month right now.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's insane. And,
Wow.
People don't realize it, but I have a lot invested in my company. I've worked my life for it, and we're going to be 20 years old next month, or next year, I mean, and like
that's a triumph, Mike. You need to give yourself that pat on the back. Companies don't last that long around here.
I'm very, very fortunate. I agree.
I mean, and your space is beautiful. I mean, again, 60%. Holy crap, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But your space is massive, and you've done so much with it. Because you stored stuff there, and you also printed stuff there.
I store a lot of stuff for Pride. Pride has an office there. I'm not looking to make money off of Pride. I want Pride to succeed, and I want Pride to become better, and I want to help in any way I can.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, if I focus on anything but my business, I'm being disrespectful to the people like my mom who works for me. I just can't do that.
And their livelihoods, of course.
And I mean, how can I can't pay
well,
my own
your
bills.
livelihood, papi.
Yeah.
I mean, coño, that is your bread and butter. That is your career. That is your legacy.
Absolutely.
So you decide to step down. Okay, you stepped down from Pride Fort Lauderdale about a month ago at this point. That must have not been easy. Was it time? What? Did you have that ruffling? Did you have that rumbling inside you where you're like, I need to have a talk with myself. I need to do something.
I felt like it was going to come to that because, again, 1, 2, 3 bad months, and just looking at it and going, I can't do this. I have to sit there and focus on my business. I can't give Pride the attention that it deserves and needs. And if I tried to do it, then I would be doing something wrong. Then I would be disrespecting my position. It's like, that would be because I want to keep the position so bad that I would rather not be present in the activities of it just so I can keep my name and title. No. That seems like
disrespectful.
It is, exactly.
Okay. But you stepped down. But you stepped down 3 months or 4 months before their next big event, right?
I can't be there for it though. That's my problem. And
what is it called? The Love Pride, right?
Well, yeah, we were trying to make every year the Love Pride because it's in February. It was near Valentine's Day. Try to keep the same. And what the world now is love, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the thing, is if we can keep that message going and we can always be the Love Pride. That was the idea behind it. I would have liked to step down earlier, but I didn't know how that was going to look, and in all honesty, I don't know what direction the organization can go in with or without me. I mean, he's strong. Ernie's very strong. So if he can handle, then make it happen. There's no reason. For example, I can help a little bit with logistics, but I cannot focus
primarily on that.
I can't do it. I just can't.
So for Love Pride, which is still going on, right?
To my knowledge.
Okay,
yes.
to your knowledge, it's still going on. According to Facebook events, it's going on. The Love Pride Fort Lauderdale parade is from February 7th through the 9th. And, it's supposed to still be going. Before you left, did they have a big sponsor for the event?
I honestly don't know where they are with sponsorships, which is another reason.
Okay.
I felt like, I was already pulling away, and it was like, I realized at that point when I wasn't able to do some of the things that I needed to do, it's just a couple of weeks, like literally not being up to date on things. I felt like I need to get out now because I've done all I can right now.
But are you stepping down only on paper? Like, are you still operations manager? They're still storing stuff at your warehouse. Your email is still pridefortlauderdale.org. So
I still have there are things in the transition because I've been there so long. That's going to take a little while for there to happen. For one, we have to get my name off the bank accounts, but the new person, I'm assuming Jason will be that person. He's moving down here in another week. When he moves down, that we're going to take care of all that. I will offer space as long as I can to Pride. They'll put me as a sponsor, which is great.
Okay.
Those things I can do that they don't take time or really money out of my pockets for the most part.
Yeah.
When it comes to printing, we have to figure out to what degree I can afford to volunteer that,
of course,
or to dedicate that, but I can do some of that. But I really can't, I can't spend time producing it. I spend every weekend at work trying to add new items, trying to update my website, trying to look for new clients. I mean, I'm trying to do everything I can.
You're a one-person everything. You do the job of 15 people. You're marketing and branding. You're printing the stuff out. You have to. But
I mean, for my business, I have to do those things.
Yeah.
And so I have to spend that time. I don't have the time to give to Pride.
Yeah.
And it's not fair. It's just not fair for me to sit there and keep myself, keep a title that I'm not earning.
You mentioned before when we were talking about John Hayden that you thought that maybe people or sponsors would see your name and not want to help. Do you really think that? I mean, is that the reason? Was that one of the major reasons why you decided to step down, thinking that let me give Pride a chance without me, which I don't think is true personally.
No.
I mean, every time your name is mentioned, people say, "Wow, what a history! Wow, he's done so much. He's done so much for our community." Pride Fort Lauderdale has kind of fallen a little, but it's never a negative connotation towards you and your legacy, Mike. I mean, at least from where I sit.
I don't know if there are people that would or would not do it because of me.
Okay.
I mean, if it's a possibility, we'll find out. If all of a sudden sponsorships start to go over, then I was the Achilles heel, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't think that is big.
But I can say it's dangerous again to have somebody out there who's not reporting the full story, and I don't even know what the intention was behind it. To be quite honest with you, I really don't know what the intention. I did nothing to be disrespectful. I don't want to hurt the guy.
Did you ever go back to John and say, "Hey, my things weren't in that story.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do another story?"
We talked one time. I think it was in June at Stonewall. I think that's when we spoke a little bit. I didn't really go into a lot of details with it, but I didn't really have a full-on conversation because I felt betrayed.
Yeah.
That's the way I felt. I felt like
you're allowed to feel that way, Mike.
And then he sends me an email or a text message. Oh, I heard you're leaving Pride. Do you want to go? Oh, you have a few minutes to talk? We're not friends. You didn't treat me like a friend. You didn't treat me like an enemy. You treated me like a horrible human being.
Well, but you were a story, Mike. His job
I'm not a story. I'm a human being.
His job is to tell us what's going on. John's story is to make sure that we know what's going on in community, and you are a pillar in our community.
So let me ask you something. People don't like Fox News because they give one side of the story.
Well, Fox is also entertainment. Let's be clear.
Yes,
Fox is entertainment, and John Hayden is not entertainment.
But John Hayden did the same thing that Fox News does, gives you one side of the story. And he did not give my side of the story. He intentionally left out the fact that I put $59,000 on my, was it $89,000 on my credit cards to pay for Pride of the Americas and wait to get reimbursed back. He intentionally left that out.
No, never, and that's a lot of money.
Hey, that's a lot of money.
So why not go to another outlet and say, I want my story said correctly?
I did. I went to Al Ferguson.
I know that.
Yeah.
But I mean, So did that clear up anything for you or no?
It made me feel better that somebody listened to me.
Okay.
And then you would offer me the opportunity to talk to you multiple times, and of course, being, just over it as I was.
Yeah.
I just wasn't,
You weren't ready.
Yeah, I just.
And you had a lot going on. Listen, let's talk about what happened about a year ago.
Yeah, just about a year. Well,
right? It was the fall, so it was around this time.
It was December 6th.
Oh my God, no, it wasn't fall. It was a little later. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
No, it's a month away. It's just about a month away. I was putting coolers away for Pride that were on a 16-foot shelf. I was standing on the shelf and took a nosedive down onto concrete. Broke my arm, my elbow. It broke the arm and was exposed. The elbow is out of place. And by the way, for the rest of my life, I will have a dislocated elbow. So, and I don't know what else I can do. And it hurts me so much to know that I lost something like my right arm. I'll never have that back. I'll never have it back.
But you're able still to spin, and that
I'm able to do stuff, but I don't know how long. I know that the bone is flattened out instead of having like a little cup. It's like flattened out, so there's no way they can put it
surgeries
back
have you
in.
had?
I've had 2, but that's the thing. They said they don't know if there's a surgery that'll fix it. And every time they go in there, it's more risk that I might lose feeling in my fingers. I might, the scar tissue builds up. It still happen, So I don't know what to expect. So if anybody knows a good elbow surgeon, like a legitimate elbow surgeon, please let me know.
Because you're still dealing with that.
Yeah, because that's forever. And that was because, I know it's wrong to say this, but it's because I was putting something away for Pride. It's like, so it's like, I think I've given enough. I think I'm done, like, for right now. I help. I always help. I don't have anything but good things, There's a lot of things that happened that we did to start.
You've given everything to Pride. You almost gave your life, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, that could have, you could have died.
Yeah. I
That's concrete, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a miracle that you're laying next to me right now, Mike.
I know. I need to be very thankful.
That you didn't get, something wrong with your brain, that you didn't get, I mean, everything that happened is awful. And I just remember,
I get you. You're right.
and I remember that posting and Kitty Meow, like just losing it, crying, calling me saying, oh my God, this happened to Mike. And I was just like, what? And I just remember the whole community just coming together and be like, okay, check on Mike. What does he need? What's going on? Oh my God. Like people were just really touched and affected that shit happened to
No, it was really cool that people reached out to me and to make sure I was okay. And I appreciated it. I felt like an obligation to share what was going on because people were asking what had happened.
Yeah.
And I have to say though, it hurts, it really hurts. Like I'm the person that doesn't want to be immobilized. I don't know how I'll deal with something like that happening to me. Just like I don't know how I'll deal with my mom when she passes.
God forbid.
I'm just not there.
You're not there yet, of course.
And she just turned 79 the other day.
And your mom is a badass, okay? If you ever went to one of the bingos, his mom is funny as hell, and she's awesome. You've got an incredible mom.
I'm very lucky. Yeah.
You've said in the past that you would love to find a way to get people to stop fighting with each other and find ways to work together. What does that mean? We're gay. We're constantly fighting.
That's my point. We're literally on the same team. How is it that we are fighting with each other when we have people who really don't care about us out there trying to hurt us?
Yeah.
We should all be like figuring out, strategizing. Look, here's the thing. If something I'm doing doesn't make you happy, come tell me and tell me why. 9 out of 10 times, if you give me, your side of the story, you let me know. I may not even know I'm doing something, and then we could work something out. Maybe
communication.
Exactly.
Communication, you mean? Because people like to talk shit behind people's back instead of going. Like, it's like I've heard things about me and I'm like, why wouldn't they come to me and ask me that? You know what I mean? Like, instead of spreading
Are you afraid of me? Because I don't think I'm that intimidating by any stretch of the imagination. I think, if anything, I'm very open and
these days, you don't even have to see the person in person. You could send them a message or you could DM them, and if they reply, and nobody has to know about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So...
I don't get it. I don't understand why we hurt each other for no reason. There should be a lot more love in the world. The things that happen, I mean, if one thing that Pulse taught us is that, any of us going and enjoying our life could be gunned down, could be killed. Those are things that we have to think about. And we are communities that are so used to entertainment and going out and enjoying ourselves. Yeah. And we have to think about those things. That's how quickly could all be over. And those things that we left unsaid really could be it could be the things that that hurt us most, the family members that we don't, communicate with anymore. I don't give a shit if if your family is voted a different way than you like. I'm sorry, they're still your family. You've got to show them how it is to be better.
Yeah.
And to say, I know that you did this, and I know that you think it's right. I'm telling you it's wrong, but I still love you because you're my family. And at the end of the day, that's what really matters.
Yeah.
Show them, be the example of the person that they should be, and you might find that you might get them to cross over and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Maybe when you hit that concrete, you really did move some stuff around to just, get those epiphanies and, be very clear. Like, okay, this is what it should be like.
I really think I've always thought that we shouldn't be fighting with each other.
Yeah.
I don't understand why we do that.
Yeah, no, and especially now after the election, I mean, if we don't unify, we're screwed, like completely. So here at the FayWhat Show, we love to play a game with our interviewee, just so people get to know you on a different level, right? So it's like a quick round, right? And it's called, it's called Say What with FayWhat. And it's just a great little way to get to know our favorite people, all right? So we're gonna look at the camera and I'm gonna give you two options and you pick one, all right?
Okay.
Drag Race or Project Runway?
Drag Race.
Wicked or Gladiator 2?
Wicked.
Cash or Cash Apps?
Cash.
Pizza or Chinese?
Pizza.
Sicilian or regular slice of pizza?
Regular.
Shopping in store or online?
Online.
Football or basketball?
Basketball.
Pickleball or tennis?
Neither. Pickleball.
Neither, bitch. Neither.
Yeah.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
Car or truck?
Truck.
Mac or HP?
HP.
Paper book or ebook?
Paper book.
Lady Gaga or Beyonce?
Beyonce.
Oprah or Michelle Obama?
Oh, come on. Oprah's entertaining, so Michelle Obama is not quite the same. But I would say Oprah because she can make anybody happy.
And that's true. The View or Abbott Elementary?
The View.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs! Here's a picture of Jenny. She's the beautiful dog from Aventura.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that where you guys live?
We don't live in Aventura.
Well, you're Aventura adjacent.
We're Aventura adjacent. It's called Ives Estates, which is basically another way of saying the ghetto.
Oh, stop it. Okay. Spider or snake?
Ew, neither one.
You have to pick one.
Oh, God, spider.
Toilet paper end over or toilet paper end under?
Over.
Like it should be. Thank you. Sunrise or sunsets?
Sunset.
Christmas or Halloween?
Christmas.
Barbara Streisand or Liza Minnelli?
Liza Minnelli.
Sausage or bacon?
Bacon.
New phone or new pair of shoes?
Oh, God, I love them both. Shoes.
Rock or hip hop?
Hip hop.
Blue or green?
Blue.
Silver or gold?
Gold.
What's your perfect breakfast?
Pancakes and bacon.
Best place for a drink on the drive?
Hunter's.
Best place to eat on the drive?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. How about Alibi?
Works for me.
Yeah.
Works for me. That works for me. I mean, they have a chef. They have a chef and everything
they
at
have-
Alibi,
they
and
have
they have
food
like
there, yeah.
specials and everything.
No, they have food.
You've got to have their Chinese rice.
I've never tried it.
Weird, okay, but understand that Alibi makes an incredible fried rice. Okay?
I would have never known that.
That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't know that, but next
Yeah.
time you're gonna be like, "Where's their fried rice?" Trust,
That's
okay?
so funny.
All right, Mike, look into that camera and
Yes.
give my viewers the best FayWhat you have, and it goes a little like this:
FayWhat!
FayWhat. That's perfect. Thank you, Miik Martorell, for being on the FayWhat Show. You are a true dedicated soul, and our community is better because you're in it.
Oh, thank you
Understand
so much.
that?
That's so sweet of you.
Please follow Mike on all social media outlets. He is on everything, okay? He's under Miik Martorell. He's under DJ Miik Martorell. You can find them everywhere on social media.
M-I-I-K.
M-I-I-K, because
Yeah.
he's got to make it different. Just
Because
okay?
it's a marketing thing. Now everybody will remember it, and they always ask about it, so.
Mike, M-I-I-K.
There you go.
There you got it, all right? So make sure you follow him on all social media outlets and go support when he's spinning somewhere. And also, please go support Planet Print.
Planet Printer.
Planet Printer,
Please, yes,
okay?
definitely.
Make sure you follow them on social media as well and use them for all your printing needs, okay? You got flyers, you got banners, you got step and repeats.
Shirts,
they
whatever.
do it. They do shirts, they do caps, they do everything. Go and check them out on social media and tell them, "Hi, Mike, I love you. You're incredible. Help me print something." And you know, that's what it's all about. Support LGBTQ plus owned businesses, okay?
Thank you.
We
Yes.
need to do that right now more than ever. His rent just went up 60%. Okay?
Yeah.
Everybody out there, you can feel that pain. I
yeah.
know, all right? So let's support LGBTQ always and forever. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you
love
for being on the show. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. That's the FayWhat Show. I hope you had fun. Thank you so much to Eric Restivo for joining me in bed and DJ Miik Martorell for just spilling the beans. You know, I'm really passionate about trying to connect the L and the G in our LGBTQ plus community. It's often hard for us girls, but if we believe we are one strong community, then we must support all the letters of our LGBT and Q plus. We open every show with a nod to Mary Tyler Moore and That Girl's Marlo Thomas. This show is dedicated to a strong LGBTQ plus community. I just encourage you to be a little bit kinder, a little bit funnier, and embrace our tremendous diversity because it really is what makes us so damn strong. Until then, make sure you follow me on all social media outlets, Facebook, IG, Threads, TikTok, and YouTube. You know the drill. Follow FayWhat. And since you're always on the go, you can listen to the FayWhat Show wherever you listen to your podcasts. Just search the FayWhat Show. Until next Monday at 9 a.m. live or anytime on demand. I'm FayWhat, and I'm #ThatGirl. I wish you a week full of sunshine and rainbows. Happy Thanksgiving week. Stay gay.
Rainbows, gay boys, #that girl. Sunbeams, drag queens, L-word. Is that girl the girl of all our dreams? She's everything that every girl should be. Aqua, South Beach, #that girl. Pride-filled, tea dance, Wilton. Is that girl Latina, but she's universal too?